Hello, everyone. This is Mary Kurek with Frontrunners Innovate. And you know what we love to do here is to bring you interesting people who are doing big things in the world, and especially have it in our heart to bring forward people who are helping our innovators and our startups to do business better, faster, easier, to make it an easier playground for them to get into and get their innovations out there toward impact. And we have a wonderful example of that in Paulina Tenner today. And Paulina is out of London, and she was brought to me by one of my wonderful biz dev people on WhatsApp, Mark Jarrett, and pointed me out to her, and vice versa. So I'm really pleased because Paulina is the founder of GrantTree and has some background with being a serial entrepreneur and interested in the seed stages of getting people started and beyond. So I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to turn the floor over to Paulina and let her do a little better job of introducing herself by way of her background. So Paulina, tell us a little bit about how you got to the work that you're doing.
Thanks, Mary. It's great to be here, and it's a pleasure to be interviewed by you today. I am a grant funding expert and also a seed stage angel investor in startups. And I got to that place by starting and growing a company called GrantTree, which has assisted over 600 startups and scale-ups in the UK with securing government funding. We've have secured over 200 million sterling worth of government grants and subsidies for our clients so far.
Wow.
And when I kind of cast my mind back to 12 years ago when I was starting out in business, I remember doing quite a lot of networking with startups in the startup community, and realizing that this question to do with funding was coming up over and over again. Everybody wanted funding, nobody knew how to get it, and in particular to do with government funding. So a lot of people I was meeting were disillusioned about whether they can get government funding at all. They said, I don't have time for this, or it's too complicated, or I really should be on top of this, but I'm not. So that's where I saw the opportunity to come in and do some work in the space of consulting on government grants. And when it comes to my angel investments, I really always wanted to be able to give back to the startup scene in this way. And it's about 4 or 5 years ago that I was finally in the position to save a little bit of money and be able to invest that in startups. So it's great to be in this place, but I really hope that my wealth will increase. I'll be able to invest more, and I'll be kind of wiser as well in terms of my experience, and will be able to share more with startups that are coming to me asking for advice and asking for funding as well.
So give us an idea of the types of startups that are coming to you asking for grant help with governments.
Yes, so when it comes to grant funding, the ideal, what's in the sweet spot, I take it in terms of what grant funding bodies are funding and what we have expertise in is deep technology. So that would be anything from precision engineering, manufacturing, through to bioscience, green tech, clean tech, machine learning, blockchain. So anything that has the potential to be patentable. That's a so-called step change innovation, where we can really kind of showcase how that company is leading in its field when it comes to technological and scientific innovation.
So are you looking for people who are disrupting a space so that whatever
Yes.
they're bringing forward is solving a problem that hasn't been solved, correct?
Or it's solving a problem in a completely new way. So that would be the
Okay.
case, yes. It does depend on the scheme, because we also work with a scheme called Research and Development Tax Credits, where the threshold of innovation is not as high. So there we work with a lot of software companies, for example, that are solving a problem in an innovative way, but it doesn't have to be kind of the kind of caliber of step change innovation that we're looking for in terms of companies qualifying for prospective grants.
So what kind of money are we looking at for? I mean, I'm sure it varies to
Yeah.
other,
So
but
we typically wouldn't look at less than 100K worth of a grant, and that can go all the way up to 500K, a million, and even more. It all depends on the kind of competition call that our clients are interested in, or that we find a match with for one of our clients.
so when you're operating, are you operating off of an upfront and commission due upon success, or can you share a little bit about your model?
Yes, of course. So that again depends on the scheme. So when it comes to R&D tax credits, we operate in commission only model. When it comes to grants, we have a consulting fee upfront, as well as a smaller success fee that, we always only work with companies that we feel are standing a good chance in terms of winning the grant, because it's the success fee that really
And it's
gives us
very
the
time
profit.
consumptive, isn't it? I do know in the
Yeah.
United States, a while back, I went through the process to be able to sell services to the military. And the process for doing that was mind numbing. So I understand it when you say people would come to you when it just seems too comprehensive or too complicated for them to have the time to be able to approach a grant or something like that. It seems overwhelming to people.
Yeah.
So do you just shepherd them through the process, or do you take over and fill out the proper paperwork and
We
walk
can
them
do
through?
both. We can do both. So we have 3 levels of service. On the grant funding side of the business, we have a full writing service. We have a coaching service where we give our clients templates and kind of coach them through the process. And we have the simplest review service, where we just review the work that they've done. So we can work on 3 different levels there.
Yeah. So you have quite a good little success rate. You were just telling us at the very beginning how much money you've been able to stir up with all of this. So
Yeah.
that's impressive. That means there's some impact there that's happening
Thank you.
with the innovation. So congrats. We like to see that.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Question, do you work just inside the UK with the UK government, or are you global?
At the moment we work with the UK, but personally, as an angel investor, I am also interested to see pitch decks from outside of the UK. So,
okay,
yeah.
So personally, as an angel investor who's interested in seeing
Yeah.
pitch decks, what kind of pitch decks would you like to see from what kind
Yeah.
of?
So definitely tech-based. To date, I've invested in software and hardware technologies. So that's the space I know and understand and have connections in. So that would be my sweet spot.
So you mentioned tech, any kind of tech. New tech.
A variety. So I have about 12 companies in my portfolio, and they are really very varied.
Where would be the sweet spot of their ask for you?
Okay, so I would say typically between 150,000 to 500,000, so seed stage.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a larger round, but usually it's an early stage round.
Okay. Excellent. When we get off of this this interview, I have some people to talk to you about. So as you're talking about this, and you said that that's from a global perspective, the work that you're doing inside the UK is specific to their government. I can only see how valuable somebody like you would be in every country and working with every government that has these opportunities. I do know that I talk to people inside the United States once in a while who have the gift of and the network for understanding how to flow the cash flow from different entities in the government to, startups. You really just have to know what's out there and know the right people that can help you pull the trigger on things, but and get some of the paperwork done that seems to be so massive out there. But where do you think what you're doing is headed? I mean, I know you're good with your numbers for what you've done so far. I have to think that your head is going forward. So as you know what you're doing now, what is an add-on for you? What would be added value for you that will create more impact? What do you think?
So within GrantTree, we are exploring other funding opportunities. So we have introduced debt funding, for example, where we can cash advance our clients R&D tax credits. We're also, I'm just speaking to a couple of VCs about assisting them with technical due diligence. So we're kind of looking to expand our product portfolio a little bit there. And we'd like to, strengthen our position on the UK market as one of the leading grant funding experts.
So if you were to look for partners or collaborators, who might you be looking for?
Good question. So I'm always looking for people, be it investors, IP lawyers, people who work with startups, who can introduce me to interesting tech or deep tech type ventures. And because I have a book coming out in November, I'm really interested to speak to people like your kind self who have shows or podcasts or who might be interested to have me on as a guest.
Tell me about the book.
Yeah, so
a little bit of preview.
It's got a provocative title of Laid Bare, What the Business Leader Learned from the Stripper. I used to dance burlesque in my spare time. So it's all about
you just never know about people, do you?
Yeah, so it's all about leadership lessons I learned on stage performing, and it talks about how I developed GrantTree and the unique culture that it has, and it also talks about leadership, masculine and feminine leadership forces in business and within every single one of us.
I would think that you would have learned a lot of lessons during that time.
Absolutely.
And hard ones. It's interesting when you talk to people and I find out a little bit about their background, and something's in that background that most people would never have guessed. I show a picture of me, I just did that recently, of me with a Muppet, with a Muppet. So on a soundstage of a Muppet movie. And I know people probably, what in the world is she doing there? Well, yeah, once upon a time I did some work in the, in the film industry, just minor work in the film industry. And also used to do some work in the video game industry. So a lot of people would not see that in me. And, I never played video games, but I knew the people who built them and the publishers who moved them forward. So that was my first entree in actually making connections. And so I told people that and I go, really? Yeah, really. I'm in my 60s and and I used to get people sending me games to review, and they send me all kinds of games and gaming equipment. I just give it to my kids for Christmas presents. Like, I don't, Diablo what? I don't know any of this stuff. So it was all about connections to me. So I get it. This is great. So when are you expecting the book to come out?
In November.
November. Okay. When are you going to have the jacket ready? The cover?
Just it's good timing, because I literally just had a new version of the cover emailed to me by an agency I'm working with. So any day now.
When you have it set, send it to us, and we'll hold the interview to go with it, to have the copy of that.
That would be
If you're happy with that,
amazing.
if you're good with that.
Yeah.
We'd love to be able to
Yeah,
show
of course.
the cover of it. And coming in fall 2021, we'll put that way. Awesome. Well, I see with a book like that have so much richness in it of lessons for people to learn. I can see not only speakings, because you're going to have to speak to move the book out there for sure, but I'm wondering if there couldn't be something even more developed that would be of an educational experience for people, whether that be webinars or that be actually, some kind of a guide or something with it that shares more of your story.
I'm definitely going to be speaking a lot about this,
and
I already am. So
yeah.
yeah.
In order for people to get the most out of something, I think you almost have to say, here's the book, and now here's the other stuff that will help you learn, in the book. So, yeah, so that's great. Anyway, I'll let you go. You've got somebody that's there with you getting ready to take off, I think. But I want to say this, hang on for a few minutes so that we can talk afterwards for a couple of seconds. And I want to say thank you and good luck with the book. We look forward to getting back with you when the book is published and getting things rolling there and helping you along. This is good stuff. I can't wait to see what bubbles up.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Mary. It's been a pleasure.
If you see this on YouTube, go to the frontrunnersinnovate.com site if you're not already on that, and you're going to get her links, her social links, and the link to any kind of, if you've got Facebook, WhatsApp presence, whatever links that you'd like to share with us, we'll drop into that as well and get a little bit more information on Paulina, and let us know if you would like to connect. So Paulina, we appreciate you dropping into our investor series, and we'll be back in touch, and everyone, next time. So stay connected.
Thank you.
Thanks.